Yes, the deviant mind, the uh, the not only the deviant mind, but the dressed up soul, or even the dressed up mind, the terminal, or the what word to use, the mental illness of the people of the society is on a crash course, and toward continuing to uh, participating in deviant behavior that is very destructive. And it is said that we are created to know the difference between harm and help. And we realize this thing is hurting me or harming me, such as, when a child at a young age touches a hot stove or oven, not to touch it no more. However, due to the usage of drugs and alcohol or what have you, even though it is harming people, uh, but it's hard to distinguish due to the desensitization and the continuing of it, to distinguish or perceive, sickness from health, and in any capacity, such as the mental health field. I'm finding out more and more that people who are in the position, that they are just as sick as the one whom they are trying to help. And they may have developed a certain memory of learning to get in that position, but yet in the application of, of, of displaying or being a model, not just privately, not just publicly, but privately, and matching up the private with the public appearances, because it's just appeared that you may have it together, and the covering up of the title of your own, of one's own personal problem with titles and money and prestige, but yet the sickness is still there, laying dormant. And even in the society that is playing male against female, black against white, rich against poor, what have you, and we can see that in certain, at least in North America, that the woman has taken a back seat to the man, when it comes to patriarchal or matriarchal. And now she seems to be elevating in her position and rank and title, and don't think that if her sickness and her resentment is not dealt with, then therefore she will wind up having access to grind. Yes, that's true, Bill. That's true, Bill. And not knowingly, but yet she may want to help, and but yet the extent of the sickness that she may be able to distinguish that when it comes to his or her very own sickness themselves, that they need to deal with before they can really assist and help others. And you can tell if they are willing to go the extended mile, beyond the rigidness of what they and what they have learned dogmatically. Yes, and the influence that the culture has on the people of the society, or on uh, his or her mind, by the way. And it could work both ways as well, that the male could continue to, relegate the female into a particular role and become very accustomed to it and think that is the way that it is supposed to be. Yes. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done in regards to um, uh, protecting oneself against a deviant mind. Yes. So because there are things that are what one must learn how to figure out a way to compensate due to the resentment and the treatment that we give each other as human beings. Yes, as human beings. Yes, and it's also known that we are created with common sense to know the difference of what is hurting me and what is harming me. Yes, but the intellect or the rational mind can pursue. It says in pursuit of happiness in this country, they were self-indulgent men. And happiness is the joy that you feel when you're in pursuit of your potential. It means we move from sympathy to empathy. And if not, then we're dealing with a spirit of apathy. Yes. But it's not happiness, it's the totality of one's well-being. So we can create titles and themes and say that what we're doing could be integrated in our healing, but how can you integrate in a society or even do integrating healing when you are have a deviated mind, a deviant mind yourself? Yes, a very deviant mind yourself. And it's very challenging in this society, and it's very challenging to people. So it become hard to distinguish because of that which you are pursuit of, and that which you are pursuit of to the extent that it is against your own nature. Yes, and that which is intrinsically good, because the nature of the mind changes. You can rationalize it, you can justify it. Yes, but the thing what is people overlook is the term that I think maybe Freud come up with is escapism, because we're trying to escape and doing best to deal with the resentment, and the opportunity that is available for us is to make money and to pursue these titles and these in these business deals. It is available, it's there for us to pursue them, but yet there is something underlining that's not being detected, that as you have not yet reconciled the differences when it comes to your very own mental health. Yes, and it will leak itself out. Yes, it will leak itself out, and that's also associated with the causes and consequences of emotional suppression. Yes, yes. So we must, and then it gets to a point where one can no longer distinguish between disease and health. Yes, yes, disease and health. And you try to justify and rationalize your behavior, and it reaches to the extent of pursuing something once again that is against its very own nature, yes, and our very own nature. But the thing is that the human tendencies, our human tendencies are just being exploited. We're challenged emotionally. We're challenged by our feelings. We're challenged by our thoughts and our attitude and the language and that which we speak, and our actions. And one of the feelings of inadequacy that I say, one of the challenges of I've called a social disorder, learning disability, is feelings of inadequacy. So you say that I'm good enough, but yet you are good enough, but there is underlying resentment, underlying anxiety, you know what I'm saying? underlying hurt, underlying pain, underlying illness or sickness that one is not dealing with. And so he or she can compensate for that or try to make up for that by his or her title in the school and the academic that he or the knowledge that he or she acquires, if I may misappropriately use the word knowledge, but try to make up for the sickness and cover it up. It's just dressing up. It's just dressing up. Yes. And running away from oneself. Yes. So one can perceive hate as love, and perceive good as bad. So it's based on the perception. And perception, once you change your perception, you will change your perspective. Yes. But something must protect us from the deviant mind. And I say that integrity must be your word, and the weapon that one must use is dignity. So as one brother came, Dr. King says he wanted to restore the dignity of the people. We're talking about the credibility of a people. So that's why I say there must be a restoration process in the preservation of integrity and one's dignity. Yes. And we must do so the benevolent way, because creation itself was created to benefit us. It is designed to benefit us. But yet the mind, the deviant mind of our human tendencies are being exploited, that we are misusing and abusing it. This creation. People wants to go beyond, to see beyond unto the heavens. But yet gravity says you must come back down here and apply what you have learned and what you have known and what you have come to learn to know. And it is associated with your personal experiences that you have had in life. So, yes, and we try to escape it with, things like spirituality or so forth and so on, that I am spiritual. Yes, surely the spirit is a energy. And that spirit of the soul is housed in the body. So it means that it seeks to have a physical presence. Yes, a physical presence on its plane of existence. And we cannot run from this physical presence. We will depart from it. The soul will depart from it. But yet in that physical presence, it goes through a evolutionary recycling stage. And it goes back, to the earth. Yes. In earth is agriculture, as Chinka Diop says, once you throw off the ecology of the environment, one's intellectual aptitude for learning becomes difficult, which means it becomes difficult for us to be able to distinguish and perceive sickness from health. And we perceive sickness as a health, I should say, and be able to distinguish between a disease and a health. Very challenging indeed. So as it pertains to the development of our intellect for the betterment of humanity, for the greater good for us all, when it comes to the mind. In the words of Einstein, the same level of consciousness that created the problem won't solve the problem. Until next time, talk to you.